Find the limit. The limit as x goes to infinity, x plus the sine of x, divided by 3x minus cosine of x. In this one, it might be advantageous before we head off and try to evaluate this thing, is to rewrite it. So let's divide the numerator and denominator by x. So we write that here. So that ends up breaking up into several fractions there. X over x plus the sine of x over x divided by 3x over x minus the cosine of x over x. So this becomes the limit as x goes to infinity of 1 plus the sine of x over x divided by 3 minus the cosine of x over x. Now, if we try to evaluate this limit, notice that, of course, the limit of 1 is 1. The limit of sine of x over x is a little bit tricky. One notices that sine of x, if you remember the graph of sine of x, it wobbles back and forth between 1 and negative 1. So it never gets bigger than 1, and it never gets smaller than negative 1. So you could say that this guy is between negative 1 and 1. And x is getting closer to infinity. So if you have some number between negative 1 and 1 divided by some number that's getting larger and larger and larger, the whole thing is going to get smaller, so it goes to 0. Divided by, of course, the limit of 3 is 3. And the same thing happens for the cosine of x divided by x that happened for sine of x over x. Cosine stays between negative 1 and 1. But x is going to infinity. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, so the cosine of x divided by x goes to 0. So in the end, we find out that our limit is 1/3. And we really didn't have to even apply any kind of craziness to this. We just applied some algebra and evaluated from there.